Welcome to Insight Builder channel. Executives New Edge. Leveraging Agentic IDEs for Data Analytics. Part 4 of multi-part series that I have been covering. We will connect, query, analyze and document an SQL database in this discussion. What are we going to look in this discussion? And what we want if you want to achieve what you're going to look in this discussion. So you will first of all need an Agentic IDE like Windsurf. You can use other IDEs also, but you will need to be a little more patient and understand what's going on at the back end with those IDEs. But yeah, most of the Agentic IDEs will be able to achieve the same thing. Second, a connection or an SQL database. So we will have a direct sales_database.db. It's an SQLite database right with us. If you want, you can actually connect to other databases. If you are unaware of what is a database, then I would suggest you to request your colleagues or your IT support to provide you a basic database for you to experiment with. Third, a clear objective for the report. Now that's very important. You need to have a clear objective of what you're going to create, or else anyone in this world cannot create a report, right? You need to know why you are going to create a report. So here is how the Agentic IDE will work. So that is the output Markdown. So this is the Markdown file where we have the charts, we have the text data, and we have the insights. The Agentic IDE is in the middle, so it's kind of an entire platform, and then we have the database. So this is how the setup is, and the database in our case is just a file. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to do this process. We are going to analyze the database and get the tables. We are going to add the result to a Markdown file. Again, we are going to get a different queries that can be executed on the table. This is also going to be automated, and we are going to add it to the Markdown file. Third, we will query the data tables and place the data again on the Markdown file, and finally create the visual charts. So how does this chart look and how it is done? That is what we are going to see. Before we dive into the actual process, I will show you one of the examples that is already created. So this is a sales database analysis of the same database that I'm talking about. And here you see that it's a Markdown file, and I have the entire schema of the database pulled out and updated here as a table. You can see the various details of the columns and the data types of those columns, and also a brief description. And then comes the indices. You don't need to worry about the technical aspect of this if you are from a non-tech background. You will be able to learn it. You will in the future will be exposed to all this technical stuff as we go forward. Then we have the sample data. Here is the sample data that has been pulled out of the database and that has been posted here on the Markdown itself. Then comes the database characteristics or the data characteristics. Here the AI itself or the LLM itself is showing what kind of characteristics are present in the data, because it has already analyzed it. It has taken the entire database, read it, and then it is given the various characteristics. And then comes the usage notes, and here is the analysis tasks. Initially, the IDE or the AI provides the sales performance as the only task that is present. And after that, we go ahead and ask it to create this SQL query, and then we ask it to provide us the result. All of these things, it goes step by step. We will be seeing it in action. And then we have this visualization. This is also, we will create it, and here we are creating this visualization using the Chart.js extension or Chart.js package. Same way, we have various other queries and other tasks and data analysis process that we can do. What we are going to look into this video after now is how to create such a report. The point here is that you don't need a front-end browser anymore. I have been telling this for quite some time. that IDEs are going to be the future. You don't need to have a front end to populate everything and then show you the report, or click on a download button to get the report. You can directly connect to the database, do the querying, and even you don't need to do the query. You can let the IDE do the query for you, or the AI agent to do the query for you. The point here is, don't sit and waste time trying to build full stack applications, because it's going to be replaced by IDEs, right? When you can do everything by yourself, why will you need a browser? And why will you, when you are going to have an AI which is going to again scrape the browser, it doesn't make sense, right? It's better that you connect the AI directly to the database. That is much more efficient, and it's a good use of the LLM, the agents, as well as the framework as a whole. Good. Now, let us do one more thing. I want to show the instructions that were used for creating this. So let me go to instructions.md, and here are the instructions that I used. Around 5 to 6 instructions I had used. There were a couple of mistakes. There were no mistakes, in fact. So the Windsurf Cascade feature. So if you're new to Windsurf, you may not be aware of the feature. The Cascade feature is kind of a crew AI flow. I'll be diving into the technical aspect of it in the next, or the next to next video. So stay tuned for that. You are using this interface here to, so this is the flow that I had used. So you can use this interface where you can chat with this flow or the Cascade feature, and then you can create this instructions. So these are the instructions I have already updated. And finally, I created this instruction.md also by using the IDE itself, using Cascade itself. So you can see that here, this instruction, list the instructions I have given you till now and update it in the instructions.md. So that is how I created this entire thing. So why am I showing all these things? You might be wondering, this is all very simple. But the point here is that the more simpler things you are able to make, you will be able to achieve complex things later, complex and complicated stuff later. It always starts with something simple. Instead of really building a full-blown app, or trying to bring the entire database connected and make a e-commerce website, we have to think really in a different direction. Because at the end of the day, think about it. What is the purpose of something? What is the purpose of the browser? What is the purpose of the website? What is the purpose of the database? And what is the purpose of the report? You need to really dive into the questions and then answer it appropriately, and you will find efficient, cheaper and faster alternatives for whatever that is being done right now. Okay, cool. So here is instructions. I will be going through this process again for you guys to understand what's going on. So what I'm going to do is, I will actually click on this past conversation. It will actually take me out of the actual conversation. I will close this, and in this case, I will be still using the sales_database. I hope you guys are able to see it's a little bit blurred out because of the git ignore that I've used. So there is a database here. I'm going to use that only. So let us start. So let me close this also. I'm going to start with the basic instruction. Okay, I will start. I want to create a sales analysis report from the database that is present in the current directory. Kindly extract the tables in the database and update the result and the queries into YT SQL DB report.md. So I am giving it a very specific instruction as to what it has to do. So it has to first of all find the database, then it has to so it has found the database, then it is asking me to execute this file. So execute this command. So I'm going to accept it. So it's going to execute the command, and internally it is going to get all the information about the database. So it is going to check the schema right now, because it is going to get all the information and it's going to fill it in the YT SQL DB. So you see that, right? Whatever I asked, it is doing it step by step like a developer, correct? And now if I click on this open diff, it will open the diff here where you see the file name and you see the proper report that is getting created, the query, the structure, the next step that is going to happen, the number of columns and the details of that columns, everything has getting updated here. So I'm going to accept it before I proceed. And then it is telling that it's giving me another one suggestion command. I'm going to accept that also. So it is going to get some information about that, and it is going to update in the SQL DB again. So I'm going to accept it, and if you scroll down, you will see that this query has been executed, and further queries also are getting executed. So you can accept that also. So you can, as you can see, it is trying to analyze the database one by one. You did not actually ask it to do it. So it's going through the process of a data analysis, and it is giving you all the information. So it's taking one by one and it is doing that. So let me accept that changes also. You have to click it here, it will accept that. Again, I am accepting it. So the instructions that I initially worked upon was a little bit different, and now the instructions that the route that I'm taking is a little bit different, because I wanted to show you that it all depends on how and what is your objective, and that's how the things gets updated in the IDE. The point, again, you are not querying the database outside the IDE, you are querying the database inside the IDE. The query is done through the Cascade. Through the Cascade, it goes to the terminal on your system, connects to the file, the database, and then gets the result back to Cascade, and then it updates the data in the IDE, data in the text editor. Let me go back and let me show you the flow. So here is the flow that I wanted you guys to understand. This will be the flow that the Cascade uses in the backend. It's a kind of a crude system diagram of what Cascade is doing. So it's connecting with the databases, endpoints, other apps. Yeah, I'll be making a video on integrating with the API endpoints in the I already made the tool. It took less than 5 to 10 minutes to create the integration. And then, like, these apps are connected to the Cascade. It has got its own memory. It has got its own place where it stores all the variables. And then from the Cascade, it is pushed to the text editor. Now you must be seeing the power of this Cascade. Cascade is an agentic flow. If you guys are curious about agentic flow, I would suggest you guys to take a look at the Crew AI videos playlist that I'm already posting it, where I discuss in detail about the varieties of flow. So we have seen how these steps work. So start analyzing, update the Markdown file, get the different queries, update the Markdown file, query the data tables, update the Markdown file. So all of these steps have been done. But now I need the visual chart. So let us go back to Windsurf, and I'm going to tell that I need the visual representation of this sales analysis by postcode. So I'm going to say that kindly provide me the visual chart of the third SQL query, and use a bar chart for the visual, and the chart has to render directly on the Markdown file itself. I can give the file name because I already have the file name with me itself. So chart.js JavaScript chart.js package can be used. This is what I'm going to say. Now let us wait and see what it does. You will see it follows a similar approach. It doesn't come up with anything. As you are observing right now, everything is text in this entire transaction. There is no zeros and ones. There is no assembly language. Nothing is visible that is confusing to us, correct? It's all there right in front of us, correct? So this is something that I wanted you, I wanted you guys to understand. We can see here that the entire chart text has been updated. So this is all gibberish, right? So you will ask me, this is not going to be helpful to me. The point is, you can actually ask that the chart has updated as HTML. Let me know how to render it, how to render or how to see the chart. Assuming that you are not aware of the process of how to do this, so here it actually says okay, here now it is actually going into the next step. It's actually trying to help you, and it is trying to create a sales report HTML document. It's fine. It's actually helping you one step more, and it's giving you a solution. What we'll ask next is, I want to know how to see the Markdown file with the chart. So you are again insisting, right? You are again insisting that I want to see that. So let us actually click on this and let me accept the changes, and I am going to execute the command xdg open. So this will open the chart. So you can see that the chart has opened, and xdg open is a Linux command that will open the file with the associated application. Okay, if that doesn't make sense, it's basically the command that opens any file with the application that it is compatible with. So here you see that I am able to look at the charts properly. But what we want is, I want to know how to see the Markdown file with the chart. I am insisting that. So again, I am sending it. I am insisting this point to the Markdown, and here you see it's giving me one more option. So it is saying, okay, to install pip install grip. This is one of the another application that I recently came across. So you can accept it. In my case, it's already installed, so I don't need to install it. So I'm rejecting it. And then what you can do is, in case of Windsurf, there is a way, much more simpler way also. You have to just use the shortcut key, Control Shift and V. So that's a shortcut key, and once you use the shortcut key, it will actually update. So it will take a moment. Yeah, here it is. So it will take a moment, but it will update. So you can see that the output has been updated. It is very similar to what you see here. Let us go back. So by now, you have seen the benefit of directly working with the IDE. You don't need, in reality, to have an entire investment of time, effort, lots of people's, and money also, and to get application to connect with the database and put the things in front of you as a report, and then you need to get the report by downloading it. It's not really necessary. Yes, there are things this IDE may not be immediately be able to help you out with. You will need little more complex queries, and there will be a lot of tables. It will have a lot of challenges. You can always have the team supporting you to work on these kinds of challenges as and when it arises. However, it will be a process of like creating a simple chart. Like how you create a PowerPoint presentation, that's how you will be, connecting with the database going forward, and, trying to build the entire report in matter of no time. And then, as I showed you, you can actually save the instructions. Like the moment ago, I showed the instructions. You can save the instructions, and you can keep it for later use, and you can also share it with others for them to replicate what you found. This is a new way of programming. Right. I believe that this video is pretty useful for you, and do practice The more you practice, the more you will come across new challenges with these IDEs. And do let me know your feedback in the comments. Do leave a like and subscribe to my channel. With that said, I would like to leave this video with 4 words, that is practice, 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 practice. See you guys. Have a great time.